Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is Thursday, April 1st. I am your host, Raheem Escalay, and this is 4-3 Sports Talk. What I have on tap for you today is an MLB preview, some NHL scores, some news and scores from the NBA, and of course, my ever-favorite segment, 32 and 16, continues on. This episode, we cover the NFC North. So without further ado, let's get right into it and talk about 32 and 16. The NFC North, the division in which my team resides, the Packers, Lions, Bears, and Vikings. Anyway, that's the NFC North, the black and blue division. We are the North. We are the runners of the North, the Green Bay Packers. And I think to start evaluating my team, our offense was pretty good. I think towards the end of the season, wear and tear gets on the offensive line. So that showed with David Bakhtiari. That injury at the end hurt us. Honestly, I think David, if David didn't get injured, I think he would have been key in stopping what Tampa Bay was doing to us. Tampa Bay basically did the same thing that they did to us in the regular season game when they beat us. It was like 40-28 or something like that. They whooped us pretty badly. So it was just a repeat of what they did before. I wasn't really impressed. I didn't think Coach did enough to stop the blitz in that game. I don't think we game planned well. Another questionable decision in that game was the field goal, giving Tom Brady 2 minutes back and a chance to go down the field or whatever he had to do just to ice the game out. Do you honestly, and I'm asking you guys, do you honestly think it's a good thing when they're down like that in that situation? Do you think that Coach LaFleur was right with going for the field goal, or do you think we should have just went for a touchdown? Why do you give Tom Brady the ball with 2 minutes left in any game? So that's one thing that's irked me for a while. I thought we should be in the Super Bowl. When I saw Mahomes and Brady go at it, I'm like, darn, this definitely should have been a Mahomes and Rodgers Super Bowl. There's just no way around it. And it didn't happen. Tom Brady got his 7th ring. It was the first home team to have a Super Bowl in their home stadium. I'm probably not saying that all the way correctly or whatever. But I know people wanted to see it. It's history. It's conforms. It goes to whatever narrative is being written. I don't know. I feel like my Packers should have been there, and we probably would have been champs. Honestly, I don't think that Chiefs team was ready for us. But in hindsight, we weren't ready for the 49ers because we weren't ready for the Buccaneers. I'm sorry, because you saw what they did to us. So there it is, man. Offensively, we're pretty good. We usually have a top 5 defense that's great at getting after the quarterback, which creates more opportunities for the inside linebacker and members in the secondary. So that's why you see guys like Jair Alexander, Kevin King. Yeah, we're going to be silent on Kevin King right now. I think he got played with that call, but come on now, buddy. This is a playoff game. You need to bring it at every snap. Stop letting guys beat you. Oh, excuse me. Stop letting guys beat you, especially speedy slot receivers. Keep your hips upright when you lean and your back leaned, eyes forward, and play the man, play the receiver. There's nothing else you need to do. The hands after 5 yards is a flag. Simple stuff. But hey, he's there and I'm here, so obviously he's doing something right, and I didn't. So we have a top 5 defense. One thing I wasn't too happy with, but I guess you can't keep them all. Our little stable of running backs got smaller with the release of Jamal Williams. He backed up Aaron Jones and started to see less reps when A.J. Dillon, the rookie last year out of Boston College, when he came in and he turned it on and started to get to work, we started to see Jamal Williams' workload diminish game by game. So I kind of figured that he was going to go. I didn't think he was going to sign with Detroit, but it is what it is. So our backfield's set. We always have Tay, Devontae Adams on the outside. We got Bobby Tonyan, our tight end, who was a Pro Bowl snub. That, my friends, was a crime. Over 11 receiving touchdowns, less than 1,000 yards, albeit, but close to averaging 2 tuds a game. And it was a Pro Bowl snub. That was, honestly, in the year 2020, if there was any type of voter fraud, it was definitely with the Pro Bowl and the voting system there. It wasn't Trump. Trump didn't lose. Trump lost the election because he's a horrible person, and millions of people wanted to change, and congrats for them. But yeah, the only voter fraud last year was in the Pro Bowl voting, not the presidential vote. And Bobby Tonyan got screwed. So, I don't really respect the voting system as far as the Pro Bowl is concerned. Honestly, I think just like the Associated Press or the coaches or the owners, there just has to be some other governing body that decides what the criteria is for people to get into the Pro Bowl. Because as you know, a lot before, it's like there are guys that would sit out at the end of the year and still already make it, or guys that haven't finished off some season, and some guys are trying to chase a historical record, and they're still making the Pro Bowl anyway. And I think it's not entirely fair for all the other guys that are trying to work. So that's my piece on that. So we got a top 5 defense, top 5 offense. We released Jamal Williams, Aaron Jones, and A.J. Dillon are going to start to get the bulk of the carries. I'm not sure who the third guy is yet coming out of our stable. I'm sure when they do all the roster adjustments, after the draft, that will be evident. But until then, I'm not too sure. As you know, there are 17 games in this upcoming season. Last year we finished 13-3. This year I don't see anything different. I see us actually getting a little better. I think we'll be 14-3 in the 17-game season. I think we're right back in the thick of it as far as the playoffs is concerned. And if Tampa Bay doesn't repeat, I see us right there. I don't see any other team in the NFC that's developed, polished, experienced, whatever the word is you want to slap on it. As much as the Green Bay Packers, and I really look forward to us succeeding offensively, defensively, whatever on both sides of the ball, special teams too. I really think we're going to be a problem, and that remains to be seen though. Moving on to the second team in this segment, the Chicago Bears, biggest rivals. I hate them. I don't really like discussing the Bears, but for the sake of the show, here we go. They were 8-8 last year. It's a mixed bag. Mitch Trubisky, Big Bleep Nick, and Nick Foles at quarterback. I don't know who they're going to go with, other than Andy Dalton, whom I mentioned in episode 13 when I was going over my second list of free agents. Listen, guys, it's probably going to be the same dumpster fire that it always is in Chicago. Inconsistency at the quarterback position leads to inconsistency all around the team. If there's not a stout leader that's putting his foot down and making things heard, making himself heard in the locker room and on the field, there's going to be problems. I do not doubt, and I say this with all due respect, I really don't doubt Andy Dalton's skill. But what I do doubt is his ability to win games. I think he's an inconsistent winner. He's had stability. He had consistency with coaches and coordinators when he was in Cincinnati. The Bengals. So I don't know what's really happened now. But I think my Packers are going to do them dirty twice a year like they always do. So anyway. Some keys for the Bears. Bye-bye, Mitch. Hello, Andy. As I just alluded to, Andy Dalton was named the starter of the Chicago Bears when he moved on from Dallas. The offense was spotty all year round. Only big bright light on the offense was their running back, David Montgomery. I think he's all right. He's a little guy who's shifty. And believe it or not, for being a little guy, what impresses me the most about him is he's not afraid to stick the nose down and run up the middle and in between the tackles and get yards that way. So, and I think having a run game like that helps in the NFC. A lot of the other teams are great defending the run, and also that helps running downhill in the cold weather. So I think David Montgomery helps credit Chicago in that way. I need someone on defense to step up with Khalil Mack. It's Khalil Mack and a bunch of no names in that Chicago Bears defense. I think it's time for somebody else to step up with Khalil Mack and pressure the quarterback. Pressure the Aaron Rodgers when he comes there. Pressure Jared Goff when he comes with Detroit twice a year. Excuse me. Get in these guys' faces, because those type of quarterbacks, if you don't get in their faces, they'll pick you apart all day, and it'll be touchdown after touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. And then you're sitting there with a fired defensive coordinator. So, also, one thing the Chicago Bears could do that I think would help them out as a franchise was go in the direction of Florida quarterback Kyle Trask. I say this because Kyle Trask is not a first-round project. Let's be honest. My breakdown of his tape indicates that he's not really good past the second or third read. He definitely is physically there. He has all the tools, all the skills needed to play at this level. I just think his processing and reading the defenses is not quite where it needs to be. Can that change and work with time? Oh, yes, it can. But I think for now, where he's at, he's a raw athlete. I think with supporting cast and a lot of tutelage, a lot of appropriate tutelage, I think Kyle Trask could end up being a decent quarterback at this league. And I think the Bears are going to take him on day 2, maybe in the 3rd round. And honestly, that's the only thing I can say about the Chicago Bears. They're 8-8. Does it get any better? No. Does it get any worse? Potentially. For sake of them potentially being a game over 500, we'll say the Chicago Bears are going to be 9-8, and that's 17 games, folks, for the NFL season. There goes 32-16, but I have some more news for you coming out of the NFL. The Seahawks and Terry Lockett reach a historic $69.2 million deal that's going to keep the wide receiver in Seattle for the next 5 to 6 years. Also, in other news, the owners unanimously vote to give full ownership control of the Washington football team to none other than Dan Snyder. That's funny, right? No, it's not funny, because he's the guy who didn't want to change, didn't approve of the name change, wanted to keep the team old school, and believed in a lot of bad practices of sexual harassment, a lot of bad stuff within the workplace in that organization. You saw all the stories that came out on ESPN, and now he's back. But all with the regime change that's happened on the inside of the building, I still think there's room. There's room for improvement. There's room for hope. You know, the first active female assistant coach, Miss King. She's the first black female that's going to be a part of the football organization. So, shout outs to her, kudos to her. Let's hope her bright light and that vibe and that energy in the Washington football team's building resonates and kind of seeps through to everyone. So, last little bit of news I have for you. Former Florida Gators tight end Kyle Pitts says that he is going to be the best tight end that's ever played. If you take a look at his tape, if you take a look at his pro day just 2 days ago, I could see where one might think that. Kyle Pitts is an animal. He's a physical freak. He's fast. There's no tight end that runs that fast that has pure, soft hands, and he just goes up and gets the ball at any point. He's got great body control, and just as I said, it's the speed, it's the acceleration, it's the everything that he has that makes him good. It's the size. No one that big, no human that big should be able to run that fast. I don't know, but he says he's going to be the best tight end. I'd like to see it. I think he's real good. I got him going top 10, so we'll see what happens. There goes everything for your NFL fix. Moving on to the NBA, the Miami Heat beat the Indiana Pacers last night, 92-87. Brooklyn Nets beat up on the Houston Rockets as James Harden gets a chance to lay it on his old team. 120-105. Minnesota Timberwolves beat the Knicks 102-101. Knicks are starting to come back to reality, I see. And the Milwaukee Bucks beat my Los Angeles Lakers 112-97. It was tough watching that. NHL scores. We have Buffalo over Philly 6-1. Colorado 9, Arizona 3, Los Angeles 4, Las Vegas 2, Minnesota 2, San Jose Sharks 4. That's all I got for you for hockey. And now on to the final part of the show, the MLB Preview. Everybody, I'm happy. It's been years since we've seen baseball, and finally it kicks off today at 1. I cannot wait. Red Sox play their first game at 2 o'clock today. Yankees kick off at 1:05. It is going to be big. New York Yankees play the Toronto Blue Jays at 1:05. Cleveland Indians against the Detroit Lions. They start at 1. Baltimore and the Red Sox start at 2. Minnesota and Milwaukee start at 2. Pittsburgh and Chicago start at 2. Atlanta and Philly start at 3. Arizona, San Diego at 4. Los Angeles Dodgers, the Colorado Rockies at 4. St. Louis Cardinals play the Reds at 4. The Reds of Cincinnati. Tampa Bay and Miami square off at 4 o'clock. Texas Rangers and the Kansas City Royals also at 4. The Texas Rangers, another added fact, are not respecting social distancing and allowing fans and being lax on masks. So if you're a fan that's going to that game, mask up and protect yourself. We don't want to keep spreading COVID-19. We need COVID to go so we can continue to be humans and flourish and have a good time. This is what we need. We don't need to be cooped up inside the house. Come up with cockamamie ideas of building a sports podcast. Anyway, we have the Mets against the Washington Nationals tonight at 7. The White Sox play the Angels at 10. The Houston Cheaters play the Oakland Athletics at 10. And the San Francisco Dodgers play the Seattle Mariners at 10. Francisco Lindor and the New York Mets have agreed to a historic 10-year, $341 million contract. Congrats to you, buddy. You've got more money than you know what to do with. I love to see when a young athlete gets paid, so congratulations to him. No limit on the fans at the Texas Rangers game, and that apparently upsets our president, as it should upset you and anyone else who's had a family member that's dealt with COVID, who has lost a friend, a coworker, whatever the case may be. COVID is bad. We need to do our parts, socially distance, keep our masks on, and keep everybody else safe. See? I got a mask on too. I respect it. So, this concludes episode 14, April 1st, 2021. My name is Rahim Escalade. I am your host. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, follow us. We're on YouTube. We're also on Twitter, and we're here on Facebook. I love you and wish you all nothing but success. Have a great day and enjoy those baseball games if you can.